Preemptive hello.
Hey
Yes.
everybody, GameHounds podcast, Gamer Edie. We've got Andrew Smith. We've got Nick DiNicola,
That
the
other
three of us.
guy, something,
Nick and I
something.
are melting, which is what we were just reviewing, what the temperatures are. And yeah, the temperatures, especially where Nick and I are, right over in this neighborhood right there. Yeah, that sucks. So on top of all of the shitty air because of the fires, it's now 100 and some odd degrees. Nick's,
GameHounds
yeah,
continuing
what are
the
you at? Are you at? You're over 100 right now, aren't you? Yep.
Me?
Yeah.
No, if I look at the weather, it says it's 91.
Okay. You're 91. But like your neighborhood, it looks like, because you're on the Hayward Castro Valley area, right?
Yeah, that is 102.
Yeah. 102, 104, 108, 107. Of course, that might be in the sun. Who knows where those temperatures are? I'm in the 95 to 97 degrees. Yeah, we don't do well in this. I have made a swamp cooler sitting next to me out of a bed jet, my kitchen colander. Oh, I got to get some more ice. A bucket of ice, a tamale steamer, and a towel. I stuck the
fuck?
And this temperature range
colander, filled it with ice, stuck the bed jet nozzle, which blows air, into the bottom of the container and turned to the bottom up, put it in the tamale container, right? Then I put the colander on top of it and stuff a towel around it so that all the air is forced to blow through the ice.
Cooling it down, yeah. See, this is like
I totally MacGyvered this shit. This was one of those moments of like, I have to do a podcast and it's too hot to do a podcast. I've got to do something. All right, let's MacGyver this.
Do you have AC, Nick?
No.
Oh, I don't either. Nope.
No one in California does.
Well,
at least no one in the Bay Area.
Nobody in the Bay Area. Nobody in the Bay Area near the water. And Nick is close enough to near the water. He's just kind of on the border. Places in like inland from the Bay, yeah, you get air conditioning.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who don't have them here. So, how you all doing? Ooh. How's your week?
Good.
It's been okay.
Yeah.
I like that we're continuing the goalie weather report.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to. Let's go check on goalie's weather. Let's go see what goalie's doing. Huh? Let's see how he's going to start. If goalie were here, would he be complaining?
No, I hope not.
He's always complaining. Let's see. Where is he?
70?
He's in Beverly. Where is Beverly? I have no idea. I know it's outside Boston. Belmont.
Look, and that's about 70s, 80s, it looks like.
Yeah.
Up, north.
He's north?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, that's right, because there's Beverly right there. Well, 75 on the water, so it's like probably 80. Yeah.
So wait, go look at Seattle, because in a normal year, we would be at PAX.
That's right.
West
I got a notification on my phone that says, "Hey, don't forget to check into your Airbnb up in Seattle."
Yeah. So normally we would not be experiencing any of this heat that happens during Labor Day. We would be up in Seattle, where it's way nicer.
Where it's 71 degrees.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been there.
See, PAX is really just strategically timed to avoid the heat wave that comes every September.
Yep. Well, there was that one year, and you were not there. That was the year without you, where they had a heat wave in Seattle. And if you think heat waves in the Bay Area are bad, have a heat wave in Seattle. Yeah, you knew it was going to be bad.
6 cents to avoid the heat waves. Yeah, that's why. That's totally why.
So who we got in the chat room? We got Bitters. Got AC Wraith. Goalie needs the bum fan. No, this is not really bum fan weather, is it?
Let me know if you can hear the fan on my end, because I have it blowing on me, but it's gentle enough that I don't think the mic is picking it up.
I don't hear it, but I've got a fan going next to me. Do you hear the fan next to me?
No, I don't hear anything coming from your end.
Off the fan. remote controlled. Do you hear a difference now?
No.
No? Okay, then I'll turn it back on. There you go. So I'm going to go get some more ice for the swamp cooler, and then I'll start the show. What do you say? What do you say?
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
In that case, I'm going to go and get some more to drink.
Yeah. Go. Don't forget to hydrate. I should get something to drink too. So, Andrew, it's all you.
Oh, no. I don't even know. All right, so I can continue. Oh, God, no. In my weather report, it's like 100 where I live, and okay, this is awful. But I have AC, so it's fine. It's 72 in my house. No. How's everyone doing? I have no idea how to carry a show. This is new. I'm floundering. The new season of The Boys came out, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure other people have stuff to say. But apparently they only came out with like 3 episodes, which is sad. I was hoping to binge watch the entire season, and I haven't really looked into why they did that. I think there's supposed to be more coming out this Friday. So, yeah. I don't want dead air. I hate that they left. So, how's everyone else doing today? In the chat, please carry me. I just got off work, and I am happy to be done for the week. See, if we're doing news, I had stories. I could talk about League of Legends since I don't really need to. I'm not going to really talk about that on the show because it's cancer. They're coming out with a new champion, and they have this weird thing going on where they have a social media presence. People think it's going to be a new champion, but it's just like a character they've made that they've been releasing, like music. The character likes to play with its fictional cat. I don't know. Yes, back.
I'm back.
You don't understand how terrible. I think we lost all of our viewers that we would have had. And like any new ones, I'm sure are gone.
That's fine. We don't need listeners. I mean, I love you guys and you're here, but we've lost all of our listeners before. We can do it again.
So, Edie, how do you carry a show when it's just you? What do you talk about?
What would I talk about right now? Well, I would talk about what's interesting going on in my life, which is I just had my first colonoscopy. And they took out.
Yeah, that would lose us a bunch of listeners, probably.
Yeah, well,
or gain a lot.
I think it is. I think it's important for all of you to understand that it is not fun to prepare for it, and what it entails, and it's okay because it sucks. But at the same time, it is super duper important because I probably prevented myself from dying from colon cancer. Absolutely no question. The prep is you have to take these very high-powered diuretics, 2 doses of them, one at 4:00 the day before your surgery, not your surgery, but your colonoscopy. And one of them 5 to 6 hours before, and mine was at 9:00 in the morning. So I had to take it 4:00 in the afternoon, and that started the first round. And I was
up all night.
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't up all night. It's definitely it hits you, and it hits you all in once, and you're done. Your first round is a little more prolonged. The second one is pretty much a one and done. But that one is a bad one. But
just take your phone in there, play a game, read a book.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that the second dose had to be at 4:00 in the morning.
So you were up before Ralph.
So I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning for round 2.
Oh yeah, did you open the window and compete with Ralph? Be like, hey Ralph, fuck you.
Check it out.
Payback.
No, but I did wake up Kevin because of course I was, running the back. When it hits all at once. And I took the first round and I was told, it's going to take probably an hour to an hour and a half for it to hit. I'm like, okay, good to know. 3 hours later, I'm going into a Zoom meeting where I am secretary of this group. So I'm taking notes and I'm calling up people going, if I have to leave, you need to pick up with notes. And it's like, at the beginning of the meeting, I'm like, I normally wouldn't share this with you, but I want to warn you all. I'm doing the colonoscopy prep. I have had it 3 hours ago. Nothing has happened. So if it hits in the middle of this, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to interrupt the meeting and disappear. And they're like, fine, no problem. Sure enough, 15 minutes into this meeting, all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay. It was like, come on, boom. There was like no waiting. I was told wear a long shirt and no pants. And yeah, you wear a long shirt and no pants.
My sister was actually sick during her colonoscopy, so she was throwing up as well. And it was not good.
Oh, so did she have the combination colonoscopy endoscopy, which is through the mouth and then through the backside?
No, just
or as they call it in Hollywood, the 2-camera shoot.
No.
I'll take your word for that.
Yeah,
Kevin has had a 2-camera shoot.
But yes, for future reference, don't leave me alone. It was scary, and I was a deer in headlights.
I can't. How did he do, guys, in the chat?
I don't know. At this point, I feel like, look, Edie has set the bar so low. You can talk about anything, and it would be better than colonoscopy talk.
I have nothing in my life to even compete with colonoscopy talk. So
then just to talk about what you've been watching. Talk about do TV Hounds.
Do TV Hounds. Yeah, TV's another good one. By the way, and I do want to get on this. When I turned 45, the protocol was you wait until you're 50 for your first colonoscopy, whether you're male or female. And it was mostly male. Now it is you turn 45 and you do a colonoscopy, whether you're male or female. So I didn't get my 45-year-old one because that wasn't the protocol. Now I'm 53 and, I fucked around, didn't do my 50-year colonoscopy. And they're like, oh no, you're not 3 years over, dude. You're 8 years over. You need to have this done. Sure enough, found some huge polyps in my colon. And, normally I would not be a big hey, don't fuck around, get your colonoscopy, don't wait. But, with Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, yeah, with him dying of colon cancer, that's what this is preventing. Is they go in there, they scope you, they look for stuff. If they see a polyp, they take it out before it turns cancerous. And I had 2 big ones and 1 little one that they were able to take out. And the doctor was like, it's a good thing you did come in and you did this because they were very big. They were not cancerous, but they would have turned cancerous. So I saved my life by doing this. So yeah, when it comes your time, gentlemen and ladies, anyone listening, don't fuck around. Yeah, it's a gigantic pain in the ass, literally. But do it because it will save your life. And it affects people of a lot of ages, generally older, but it can affect you when you're young as well. So don't put it off. Have a colonoscopy. Have those things taken out so that they don't turn, evil and kill you. Bottom line. So you've got me for a few more years at least. At least not the colon's not going to kill me.
So you guys know the podcast will be here.
Yep. We're the colon hounds today, for at least this moment.
2 things. Maynard, I can't talk about my gallbladder. I don't have it anymore. So
me neither.
It's just gone. And Edie, I thought you started that by saying when I turned 25, not that when you were 20. I thought you meant you were saying you were younger than 45, and I was like, My math right?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry, did I say 25? I meant 45.
No.
Yeah, when I turned 45, the protocol was at 50. And then when
Yeah.
I turned 50, the protocol was at 45. And I should have had it then, but I didn't. Because I didn't know the protocol had changed. They don't really put you on a 50-year-old mailing list like they should. Shit happens. So, hey, Maynard is in the chat room. Dude.
He's in the
Of
Twitch
the
chat
three
room.
of us, there is only one gallbladder among us.
Unless
Nick?
Nick's hiding a secret.
You
Me?
have your
No.
gallbladder, right?
I assume so. I would probably know if I had to get it.
Oh, yeah. You'd know. Oh, trust me. You'd know.
Someone snuck in the middle of the night and like, he's not going to need this.
I just woke up in a tub with a stitch.
Yeah, when your gallbladder turns on you, it's real fucking obvious. There's no sneaking up on you. It's all of a sudden, hey, you're in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I wasn't getting like stones that were getting stuck. I was just like having tiny ones that were passing, and it was awful. I had it happen like 3 times before. I was just like, you know what? Take it out. Just get rid of the thing. It's not working right.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have tiny ones that were passing. Well, I had big ones. I have them right on my console over there. I kept my gallstones because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, of course you did.
The worst
AC Ray says his was throwing stones into his pancreas. Good Lord, are there any gallbladders in this whole group? Seriously, I did not realize how many people have had gallstones.
I'm fine.
Except for Nick. Your time's coming, my friend. Everybody
ate like trash, so that's my excuse. A lot of fatty foods. That's what does it.
Would that do it? Does fatty foods do it, or is it genetics? I heard it was genetics. Like
it's both. I mean, like diet doesn't help. Because I mean, that's what it's for. If you eat like a lot of greasy, fatty foods, it pumps more bile into your intestines, and if you just don't have one, you just don't get that extra.
Mr. Maynard says, infection here, massive, felt like a heart attack and passed out. Yeah, that's when I had my final gallbladder attack. Yeah, that's what it felt like. I was doubled over and I muscled through the first attack. And because I was like, do I want to wake up Kevin and go to the emergency room? No, maybe, yes, maybe. Finally, when it got so bad, I got him up and he was getting dressed and we got in the car. As soon as I sat in the car, all of a sudden the pain started to go away. It's like, son of a bitch. So then I'm like, all right, next time it happens, I'm waking him up immediately. Sure enough, I went to bed one night and it was like, God damn it, here it comes. I'm like, Kevin, now.
Yeah,
hospital, they give you the morphine and you're like, oh.
See, I was in pain for an hour and a half, and I was like, all right, this isn't going away. I'm not sure what this is. So I called an ambulance because I didn't have a car. Mm-hmm. We went, and as I got there, I don't know, sitting there waiting for the doc, I'm like, it's gone. Like, I'm sore, but it's no longer hurting, and now I feel like I'm just making shit up.
Right. That's what happens with those things. Oh my God, look how like red my face is, how flushed my face is right now because it's so hot in this house.
Well, just come over. We can do a round table here in the air conditioner.
Oh, air conditioning. Nice. All I have to do is fly out and catch COVID. All right, do we want to start a show?
Yes.
That is I was just watching Rick and Morty before this, and that is something straight out of that show. That was a straight
I like to think I'm a gigantic cartoon character as myself. All right, so let me get a show together. We got our topics and everything going. Ready to do this?
Yeah,
I got news.
I've been looking around news stuff while you all talking about. I don't know.
Because you have nothing to talk about. Don't worry, your time's coming, dude. Your time is coming. I
seem to have kept myself relatively healthy.
Yeah, I was relatively healthy too until I wasn't. That happened pretty late. Most people, I mean, I haven't even had a root canal, and apparently root canals are pretty freaking common. I did not know that.
I haven't had
I've
one of
had
those
one.
either. Heck, I haven't even had a cavity.
Really?
Yeah,
No, really?
yeah.
Do you just not eat?
No, I just brush my teeth and I fucking take care of myself. It's what I do. It seems I'm the only person that does.
What? That's not true. I take care of myself.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie.
In my family, if you got sick, it was kind of a moral failing. It was seen as a moral failing.
You brought this on.
Yeah, it was kind of like
Clearly,
that.
the
Where it's like,
Earth
what
has
did you
failed.
do wrong to get sick? I'm like, live.
Clearly, the Earth has morally failed because of COVID. Like,
Yeah. Well, see, no.
Hey,
See,
no,
the rest
that's
of the
a
world
plague.
gets sick. That's fine. The rest of the world gets flu. I got the flu, and my dad was so angry at me that I got the flu. I was living in the dorms at the time. Of course, I got the flu. Everybody got
Is
the
it
flu. in the
like a religious thing? Like this is punishment from God?
dorm. No.
What?
It wasn't religious. It was we don't get the
How
flu.
do you-
just
Our family doesn't get the flu. What's wrong with
Just
like
offended.
I told my mother I had I've had, I have peanut allergies. My mother never forgave me for having peanut allergies. She looked at me and said, nobody in the family has ever had allergies before. What's wrong with you?
Everybody has.
You didn't get it from
allergies to
us. What did
something.
you do wrong?
I'm not allergic to anything that I know of.
Hey, God damn it!
And then of course, if we got the flu, nobody ever got a flu shot. And if we got the flu, it was like, well, what did you do wrong to catch the flu? Like
Who you been hanging
dormitory,
around?
which is a freaking petri dish. It's a dormitory. It's like, no,
They got
See,
you
your
allergic.
fault.
You were
You're just
in there
you're
with
not
the,
taking care of
with
yourself.
with the meth dealers and the crackheads sharing needles and getting allergies. That's what you got.
Right. Well, you're just not doing the right thing. You're clearly not washing your hands enough.
See, someone knew I wasn't going to take care of myself, so they gave me extra teeth in case I lost a few.
This might be a little personal. Would your parents have been anti-mask?
No.
Really?
No. They would absolutely, positively.
But if you
have
get
been
COVID, they'd be
pro-mask.
like,
Yeah, but if you get
every-
COVID, then you fucked up.
Right. Right. No, they drew a very bright line between normal people and our super healthy genes.
Your genes.
your
Right.
superior genes.
We were
Yeah,
superior. We
Okay,
were
that's
genetically superior to everyone because we didn't get sick and we didn't have allergies.
that's even worse than being anti-mask.
Yeah, I had a special childhood.
Are you the product of eugenics?
No, just a couple of people who really truly believed that, you could be better and smarter than everybody else. There's a reason why they sent me to a lot of private school. And here I am with the rest of you. I proved them wrong.
Good on you.
I am just a normal folk like everybody else. I am a stupid chucklehead. All right. Yeah, now you know why I embrace my underachievement. All right, gentlemen.
I will say AC Wraith has a great comment. He says that he's also had no cavities and he still has his wisdom teeth. His dentist said his teeth belong in the museum.
They do. They do. They had to fix the shit out of my mouth.
Oh yeah,
I had my 4 wisdom teeth and an additional 4 molars taken out because my mouth is too small and my teeth were too big, so they had to take out 4 additional teeth in addition to the wisdom teeth. And I had them all taken out at once.
See, when I went in to the dentist, it's
the red skull.
It's just a prosthetic mask. I waited forever to get my wisdom teeth out, but I was getting all my dental work done at once because I don't take care of myself. And the first time I got a tooth removed, there was an extra root like there, and he didn't know. So like he was just, why won't this tooth come out? Of course, I'm numb to shit. And
Were you
like,
awake for that?
yeah, he was pulling for like a solid 20 minutes, and eventually it snapped, and he had to go in and pull that like little bit out.
And you have to go dig the rest of the tooth out. Oh, what a shame.
I didn't feel anything, so it was like whatever. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
He's just blowing the table, putting his foot on your face, and just
nope,
pretty much.
Nope, I need to be out. However much it costs for the anesthesia, put me the fuck out. You cannot work on my teeth. I mean, you could drill a cavity, but if I ever had to do another extraction, it's like, no, I want to be. I cannot be awake for that.
Oh, so yeah, you just numb me up, and I don't care. You can go to town on my mouth. I don't. I also almost bit that same dentist's finger off because. Okay,
this is why you go into sleep.
No, it wasn't because of that. I was just having a lot of pain, and I had a really bad tooth that hadn't hurt in a while, and like it started hurting, but it felt like a different place in my mouth. So he's like, "Here, let me test to see if that is the one that's hurting." So he hits it. He hits it with like a little hammer or like a little like stick thing.
Hurt?
Yeah, and I like really hard because he just caused a lot of pain, and he just pulled his finger back, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
I guess that is the tooth. Okay.
Okay, that's less on you. That would be on him.
And when I got my wisdom teeth out, I had 2 extra canines that were just in my jaw, like adult canines.
Oh, nice.
I had 34 teeth. And they just took them all out with my wisdom teeth.
Oh, man. I would love to see that video or that x-ray. That x-ray must have been amazing. Have you seen children's x-rays? Like
I was just going to bring that up. Like, children's heads look like something out of a fucking horror movie because it's like, oh, here's a skull, and then just like, here's teeth, and then all these teeth like going all through the chin. It's like
just up into the eyes.
It's like a fucking tooth monster. It's like the Candle Cove tooth monster.
Oh, Corey Wallace is going to have a lot of fun with that. Start this podcast.
There we go. Here's a cool one right here.
Oh, this is horror podcast time.
Look at all that.
Yep.
Just now. I'm good. But yeah, I had a couple extra ones. And like,
what's wrong with them?
The only part that sucked about that was, of course, they took out wisdom teeth. So both my back mouths were like, sewed up. And then they took out front teeth. So like none of my jaw was like safe. I couldn't just eat with my front teeth. I had to basically suck on stuff for like a week. That skeeves me out. I don't like that.
So wait, just for the Google Candle Cove tooth monster.
What was it?
Candle Cove tooth monster.
I guess we don't have any like just listeners yet.
Oh yeah.
That's the stuff.
He would love those teeth. Eats them like candy.
I recommend we start the show and move on from this before I have nightmares.
Okay.
I gotta watch that. That was a...
All right, we ready to start it?
Yes.
And these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
All right, mics are hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 561. We are recording this on Sunday, September 6th, 2020. I'm here, Edie Sellers, with Andrew Smith and Nick DiNicola. How you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Better now that I'm second named. I'm working my way up.
I decided to mix it up today. Make you feel important.
Thank you. I needed it.
So we've been dicking around in the chat room talking about wisdom teeth, and I got to take that tooth monster thing off. That's just awful. I can't look at that. That is awful.
Going to distract you the entire.
Why is that so disturbing?
Right? That's good.
Yeah, I did
Good.
not realize how disturbing teeth are. Yeah, we've been talking about wisdom teeth and
It's been health hounds.
health
Yeah.
hounds, colonoscopies, and what else? Gallbladders and heat waves. Holy shit, is it hot? I mean, we already went through this in the chat room, but it is fucking hot here in California right now. So I'm kind of, all that ice I brought in is all now gone. That's how hot it is.
It lasted through the pre-show.
Bucket of ice, and it's gone. So, what's new with you guys? Anything interesting?
Not a whole lot. It's been kind of a chill week for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
You Nick? I mean, how's the moving in going? You just moved into the new place?
Yeah, I've unpacked. I had every box that I unpacked, I stacked it on top of itself until I had a stack that was literally touching the ceiling. And then I started a second stack, and so I wanted to create a little cityscape. But then I unboxed most of them. I've only got a box of DVDs and Blu-rays left, and I'm kind of figuring out where I should put them.
Good deal.
Yeah, so I had to take down my tower of boxes and throw them away.
Did you have a lot of stuff to move?
A fair amount. I've a lot of collections of shit.
Like when I moved, I have like almost nothing, so it was mostly moving furniture, and then like an hour or two of me actually moving personal possessions.
Oh yeah, I got personal possessions with the most, whether that be like kitchen stuff of silverware and glasses, or I still have these bags that I keep in the closet stacked on top of each other that are just filled with 360 and PS3 games and DVD and anime box sets. That's just like, this is my physical game collection. And if I ever get like a big ass bookcase, I'll have to put the movies there. Like I'll have the bookcase and then the movie case. That's my goal for the future.
Okay.
I need to learn to start collecting something just so I can, make my apartment kind of look lived in and personal.
Don't. Your life, you're going to be in up collecting shit over your life anyway. Just enjoy this. It's kind of like a little kid saying, I want to grow up. It's like, no, you don't. Growing up sucks. And collecting shit sucks. So just don't collect.
Oh, no, I love collecting shit. Collecting shit's so much fun.
I am getting two sides to this, and I don't know who to listen to.
I just love, like, I'll go to a comic store, buy a comic, and then just stick it in the bookcase and be like, oh shit, I forgot I bought that like 3 years later. Oh, I should read that.
AC Ray says, I see neither a cat stool nor game posters. The gray block now features a blank room.
The cat stool is over here. It's just out of sight. I do want to put some posters there. I've been trying to figure out which ones I want to put there, because I've got those Yu-Gi-Oh! Hero posters that we looked at a couple weeks ago, and then I've got some cool Shadow of the Colossus ones, and I think I'm going to put the Shadow of the Colossus ones in the back, because I have more of those, and so I can spread them across the wall.
Right.
I'd go with a giant flag of something. That'd be my suggestion. Just big flag behind you.
I actually do have a big Assassin's Creed Black flag, pirate flag, that I got from the special edition of that game.
That's a good place for it. Just saying.
But if you're going to do it, class it up. Put it in a frame. Don't just hang a flag on your wall, because then you're just like a college frat boy.
Mm-hmm.
Frame it. So then it looks intentional. It's the grown-up version of the.
Well, the Shadow of the Colossus things I'm not going to frame, because that's too much work.
Yeah.
As Edie just said, growing up, no one wants to do it. So don't do that. Just put it up like a college frat kid.
Yeah. No, you frame the stuff you like. The Shadow of the Colossus ones I got at a Fanime convention, and it's like, okay, those ones I can just kind of tack up there. But the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ones, those look really, really cool, and so I got to frame those. Whenever I get more of those, I've got to get more frames. So.
So, first
I'm
off,
in decorating.
we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. And we're on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, please like our page and subscribe. If you are on Twitch, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can catch us every single week when we go live. And then, of course, Twitch is also like, subscribe, notify, the whole 9 yards. So please do that now if you haven't already. And let's talk about some games. What have we played this week?
Just League of Legends.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, it's been kind of a chill week. I don't think I've played anything else.
Any insight onto League of Legends this week?
Not even. It is toxic. Just for if anyone's curious, it's a toxic game.
Yeah,
Played
that's
a
why I've
game
never
where
played it.
me and my friend did the best. My friend did twice as good as me. And this one person was just like, you guys suck. I did everything. Like, unironically, they thought they were the best in the game. They're the reason we won when it was just absurd. So, if you want to have some toxicity in your life, play League of Legends.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why I avoid it. I have no time for that noise. Okay, so League of Legends. Anything else going on? Anything else that we want to talk about?
No, I'm just more keep playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I keep that game's still really enjoyable, and still surprisingly, like I said, hard. Like even as I level up my character, I keep getting into situations where I just get my ass handed to me, and
See, I still
it's
want to play that game
cool.
so much.
Yeah, me too. And it's something that I need to do soon because otherwise I'm going to fall into this horrible state of never playing any games that I want because I'm playing Elder Scrolls too much. I'm becoming Corey.
Would you want to
announce the date? My Tsushima. But we didn't talk about it a couple weeks ago when it was announced. But Sucker Punch announced a Ghost of Tsushima co-op mode, which is like
really?
an entirely separate mode from the game. It's not the main game. It's actually a much more fantastical version. Like the main game is very much grounded in reality, and to the point where whenever you talk about mystical things, it's always like, oh, it's a bandit, or oh, it's a Mongol over there being sneaky. But this co-op is supposed to be way more mythic, way more supernatural, to the point where you kind of need to rely on each other to defeat some enemies. Like one character would stun the enemy, one character does the killing blow, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's
that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it sounds great. And it's a whole new mode. It's going to be free. Well, I don't know. Let's see. We designed.
And that's a game that if I pick up or like I end up playing, I'm gonna set up the whole streaming thing with my computer, and I'm gonna give that a shot. So
nice.
That's a game I'd love to stream.
Oh yeah, so it is a free update, but and they just say it's going to be later this year. So yeah, you can hold off until that thing comes, and I'm sure that game will go on sale on like Black Friday or something.
Yeah, probably Black Friday. Actually, I'm going to hold off and pick it up when the new console comes out.
Sure.
Because I just can't see myself buying any more games that I would
Black Friday, right?
Right. Yeah. I can't see myself buying any more games that I would want to own, play past the beginning of the year with the current console. I just can't bring myself to spend another $60 on something and then have to either, they've said that, oh yeah, if you buy it a game currently, you'll be able to upgrade it. No problem. That's what they say, but I don't believe them. I have also heard them backtracking on that shit a lot. So I don't have a lot of faith that no matter what they say, that's going to be the case.
you'll be able to play the game on the PS5, but that won't necessarily mean it's upgraded.
Right.
There are upgraded versions that are going to come out for the console, and it's kind of in the air as to which games do it. Like
Yeah.
I've heard there's a few that'll
Right.
only do digital versions you get upgraded, but physical copies you don't. I've heard both. And
It's
then
too confusing a landscape to be purchasing any kind of $60 game at this point because
Well,
of that.
but
And because of the fact that they could easily, oh my God,
But that doesn't mean that they're unplayable. Like the assumption is that if you get a new console of the same type, you will be able to play the stuff on the old console. Like it will be playable. It'll be backwards compatible. So,
Right.
if you buy a game now, you're not going to suddenly lose access to it in a month. Or 2
No, I'm
months.
not going to lose access to it, but I may not be able to play it in its best form. And if I'm going to spend some money on something, I want to play it in its best form.
Oh, okay.
Especially if I am lucky enough to have a PlayStation 5, I want to be able to play it on the PlayStation 5 and utilize all of its capabilities. I don't want to be purchasing a lesser than game that eventually will make me feel like I really want to play it, in its full glory.
all right, so if you're not going to pick this up, can I see if you will be interested in trying? Well, not only Warframe, which we'll get to at some point, but I've been wanting to pick up Division 2 again and getting all the DLC for it because they've added a lot to that game, and that's a game that does way
Division
better.
2. Yeah, I could see Division 2 because there's no way I will want to play this into the new year.
Division 2?
Yeah.
I
played the shit out of it. I've gone all the way through where I want to go, and I can walk away now and be happy. So if I come back and buy some DLC, yeah, sure. Because I'm not going to ever be deep into the PlayStation 5 lifespan, like 6 months in and go, really wish that I could play Division 2 in its full glory. No, optimized for the PlayStation 5. That's not going to happen. So,
because I remember playing The Division when it first came out, and you know how it was kind of lackluster. Like everyone was like, okay, this was fun, but you play through it and you're kind of done. I went back towards the very end, like I want to say 6 months before 2 was going to drop, or like 6 months to a year. And it had all its DLC launched. It had released like all of its content. They were doing events and stuff. And that game is a lot better when it has extra content, when it has DLC, and it's worth going back to. And at this point, they've done all the season pass. They have a New York expansion pack that you can buy as well. And they have some DLC coming out that looks interesting, which I'll bring up in news.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing. There's a couple of small games that I've bought over the past couple months that I really want to get to and just play through a little bit, like little things that seem interesting. So that's my goal in the coming week or two, is to just play those little, 4 to 5 hour experiences.
Yep. So is that all our games that we're going to talk about?
What about you, Edie? What have you been playing? Surprise us.
Yeah,
Well,
and I got Nick. With Nick last night.
Yeah, I can talk about some of that, which is good and bad. I started playing the Dark Brotherhood quest, which I also didn't realize that I didn't have. I didn't realize that ESO had so much DLC content for it, and that the Morrowind pack that I bought doesn't contain most of it. I thought that it would be like Final Fantasy 14, where you buy the version and it comes with the previous expansions, right? You buy Shadowbringers, that includes the previous expansions up to Shadowbringers for Final Fantasy 14. Not with Elder Scrolls. With Elder Scrolls, it's like, oh, here's a big piece of DLC, and so here's a bundle that includes the base game and that DLC and nothing else. And it's like, oh, okay, you still want me to spend $200 to unlock all these other additional areas.
There's a reason why this has been going on as long as it has. It's because it makes a lot of money. They've used the Sims method of, oh, here's a new pack. It's an extra $10. Another new pack. It's an extra $20.
Yeah, and I mean, for all of the faults of Final Fantasy, like the fact that you pay $12, $13 a month, or 15, like they treat you like you're a paying customer. Like they give you stuff for that. And while there are some microtransaction things, it's all cosmetic. Whereas you can make actual progress by spending more money in Elder Scrolls. Like it's a little bit more microtransaction-y than
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
But then once I got into the Dark Brotherhood quest, that's a fun quest. That's a neat quest line. They give you this new ability called the Blade of Woe, which is neat because it's a special one-hit kill assassin blade that you always have available. You don't actually have to equip it to an equipment slot or a skill slot. It's just if you sneak up behind a person, you always get the prompt to use it. It's like always available to you, and that's a nice ability. Like you can sort of assassinate anyone at any time. And Edie is clearly addicted to assassinating everyone at every time. Like
He can't take me into town.
I
Seriously.
go to town and I talk to someone to get a quest, and by the time I leave the conversation and turn around, it's just fucking bodies. Like the whole rest of the inn has been murdered. It's like, what the fuck? Whatever.
The quest giver is giving you the
You
quest.
can't murder the
Can't
quest
do a quest
givers, but you can
what I
murder
did
everyone
notice-
around the quest givers.
What I did notice at one point is multiple bodies of the same person stacked on top of each other. Because Edie killed so many people that the game then respawned the first person that she killed, who she then killed again. So she's killing the same person and stacking their bodies.
Yeah, but I like what I was meaning is like you're talking to the quest giver and you just see a horrified look come across the quest giver's face as you're chatting with them, and they're just saying their lines normally, but just terrified. Like, what's going on? Turn around.
I did actually hear like a good old rock as I was talking to a quest giver at one time. It's like, oh, well, I guess you killed someone.
Yeah.
But I think the downside to the Dark Brotherhood, which is kind of a downside to the entire structure of this game, is that it's built around you grinding out levels, which is kind of the MMO thing. But when you get to the Dark Brotherhood, that kind of starts a new skill tree. And as you do quests, you level up you level up your Dark Brotherhood rank, basically. And you get a story quest for the Dark Brotherhood every rank. So you get a story quest at level 1, story quest at level 2, story quest at level 3, and so on. I got to level 3, and then I did the story quest, I did an assassination, and I looked at my progress, and it was like a quarter full. And I'm thinking, well, how do I fill this? And Edie says, well, you can either do these repeatable quests that give you 5 points, which is just an absolute pittance, or you can do these daily quests, which give you 10 points, basically.
10 to 20.
10 to 20, basically 10, though. And I look at that and think, okay, so there's like 150 points to level up 3 to 4, and then even more to go to 4 to 5. You have to grind out so many daily quests. And I just think of like Skyrim when, oh yeah, I could just do a story quest, then another story quest, then another story quest, then another story quest. None of this bullshit grind out. And it frustrated me. It has, as someone who enjoys the writing in Elder Scrolls, but doesn't enjoy the MMO grind. It's just these two parts of the game beating on each other.
See, and it's not that I don't find them necessarily grindy. I find them, especially the daily quests, a challenge because I know I can pass them. It's how well I can pass them. And so you end up doing, and you can only do one a day anyway. So you do that one a day and it's like, oh, can I get it? Can I get it? It's like, oh, I get another crack at being able to get this perfect.
Yeah. But see, and I think the difference in our approach is that I don't play every day.
Right.
And
there is
so
that.
I'm when I come to the game, I'm looking to I want to get a lot of stuff out of my gameplay session, this once every 2 weeks. And so that's why I like going around and doing all the quests and clearing a region, because I can get a lot of story quests, a lot of narrative things done that way, and it doesn't feel like I'm locked out from a grind. So yeah.
I thought you were going to say, Edie was going to say, you kill a bunch of people. You just assassinate them, and that gives you faction.
She did, and I actually tested that out, and it turned out to not be true.
Aw,
Which
that's
is
I
sad.
wish
disappointing.
that it did, because if it was, I would be a level 5,000 assassin.
And that seems like a genuine waste, because like if you could get just 1 point for assassinating someone, then that's still a lot, because you can go around and assassinate 150 people and then rank up in the Dark Brotherhood. Like that would be good. I would not mind it as much if that was the case. If I could level up even slowly, just over the course of general gameplay, I think that's okay. But it's the fact that I have to go out and do these specific quests, and I'm limited in how I can do those quests. It means like at max, I can only really get 20 to 30 Dark Brotherhood points a day. And so even if I did everything perfect every day, it would still take me weeks to
No,
level up
you could
substantially.
go out and do 10 or 12 of those. Go out and murder somebody, because
That
they're
is an
super fun,
entire
because it is
gaming session.
murdering people.
10 to 12 of those is like 5 to 6 hours of gameplay right there.
I know, and it's totally fun because you're murdering people from behind.
I just don't see
Murdering people
that
is murdering innocents is fun.
You just have a murderous addiction.
I do. There's something, I just get a thrill out of going up behind someone who is not somebody that is trying to kill me, and just, slipping in, nobody else sees me, and then slipping out. It's just great. Or even better, sneaking up behind an enemy and just murdering one of them and then annihilating the. Go get him! Go get him!
See, I know there's got to be a stealth
Even
game.
as I'm looking at the what's playing right now, I'm like, go get him! Go get him! He's got his back to you.
See, I'm not sure I want to go to PAX anymore, Edie. Like, I'm kind of scared of you.
Where are you hiding? You can just murder him. Just go behind him.
There's got to be a stealth game out there that's perfect for you. That just
Possibly.
allows you that free form, killing of anybody.
Right.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I know there has to be something out there.
And it can't be sanctioned. It has to be like, I feel like I'm doing something bad. Like,
to beat Assassin's Creed, I think you're able to, right?
It's
like,
that sense of power. Like,
No, they don't want you killing civilians, though.
So
GTA.
Anyway. I see somebody standing with his back to me, and it's like, oh, I just can't resist. It's just,
you
it's
absolute
just crack
fool.
for me to see somebody standing with their back to me now. I can't help it. And the harder they are to get, like somebody in the middle of a city, it's like the more I want to get them, because they're so challenging to me. So maybe I'm just like letting you in on too much of of the what makes Edie tick. But yes, says Chaos, just go. AC Ray says Chaos, just go with the intention of killing Edie. She only harms the harmless. Yeah.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
They are the most fun to harm in a game. I am a defender of the harmless when in all other ways, but in this game, oh yeah, the harmless are like the more innocent, the more like angelic, especially the nobles, like the and I'm walking through town, and if they pop off to me, like make some kind of like untoward remark because I'm in sneak mode, yeah, then they're done for. That you talking to me? You talking to me?
If you see Edie sneaking, you look away and you don't
mention me. You don't comment. Certainly don't make a disparaging comment. Now, if you said, "Hey, nice job sneaking," that would be, I'd be all right. But nobody says that.
You take a little less joy in killing them, but you'd still kill them.
Oh, Dishonored. Dishonored is a game you might really like.
Yeah.
The world starts to reflect like, what
Yeah,
you've
and
done.
I think you can kill pretty much anyone.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and not only that, but in Dishonored, it's amazing to kill people because you get like a suite of powers and you get to just decide how things go down. For instance, like you could stop time, move a person, shoot out a chandelier, and then like have a bomb go off. And basically the chandelier falls, the person dies, people run in, bomb goes off. Like you did that all with like stopping
See,
time.
that's just too not impersonal. I really like the up close and personal.
And then you can just get in and
slit
stab
their
them.
throats.
Yeah.
The best
can.
thing to do is the blink ability because you can kind of teleport over things, and so you just teleport right up to a guy.
Shank them and then go.
Yeah,
There's a whole
Okay.
animation too. You can look into their eyes.
Dishonored might be a game you might want to look into.
Bitters, fuck you.
Yeah,
Bitter
he's
says,
not wrong.
"Yep, Red Skull."
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. All right,
Anyways,
so
yeah,
shall we
That's
get
kind
to
of it.
talking about news and get off of Elder Scrolls, because you guys don't want to hear about me talking about Elder Scrolls. At least I'm better than Corey Wallace in that I recognize that everybody doesn't want to talk about a 3-year-old game all the time, no matter how much I love it. Just saying. So shall we hit the news?
Yeah.
All right. Let's where is it? Here it is. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie, Nick DiNicola, and Andrew Smith. See, I put you at the end this time just so you
I
don't get too
know.
confident. Our first item is
I got a quick one. Just mentioning
Sure.
the next Ubisoft Forward event is apparently September 10th. So if you're looking forward to that, they finally have a date for it. And it's soon.
that is going to be an interesting show. You said September 10th?
Yes.
I
kind of curious.
noticed they didn't do it on September 11th.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think that they're going to make any kind of mention about them recovering from the shitstorm
No.
that has been going on?
No, I think it's pretty much just avoid talking about that if you can't. Like, unless there's someone putting a camera in your face asking questions, don't mention it.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that.
I again I agree. I feel like they're just gonna try to move past it, and I don't know what they're gonna announce and talk about, but
Feels like they've announced everything. It seems like they would just go into showing more details about the games
Right.
that they've announced.
yeah. I didn't realize this, and this is kind of disappointing. You know that game Gods and Monsters that they showed off a couple E3s ago? They've apparently renamed that to Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yes.
And Phoenix is not spelled like the bird, the mythical bird. It's Fenyx.
Yes.
And it kind of looks like the stupidest title ever, because there's not even a colon. It's not like Immortals : Phoenix Rising. It's just Immortals Phoenix Rising. It's like, what the fuck? What does that mean? It's just a fucking meaningless title. I hate
Do we
it.
know why they changed the name from Gods and Monsters? Did it have to do with the with like a copyright infringement with the movie?
I don't know. Maybe they thought it was too vague. I don't think so. That movie's several decades old at this point.
It is.
Isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It's also a really good movie.
Honestly, this looks... I mean, I like Greek mythology, and it looks like they're trying to go somewhere with that. But it looks like they stole a lot of design ideas from Zelda. The Legend of Zelda that just came out.
I mean, hey, if they can make their own version of Breath of the Wild, I think that's cool, because maybe they can fix that game.
Fix it?
Yeah, that game sucked.
Oh
no!
I'm back.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I will say
from
Breath
Nick
of
on
the
that
Wild
one.
is bad. I hate.
Please don't show it.
How much I hate it on the podcast.
Your hate mail should go to ndnicola@gamehounds.net. Please
Nick
leave me
does
out
not.
of this.
represent all of the GameHounds, and his views are personal and wrong.
So what did you hate
I'll
about it?
stand
Why do
by
you
it.
hate it so much?
Oh, it's hard for me to remember everything now. Just the controls I didn't like, the combat I didn't like, the open world I didn't like. I found that there was kind of nothing to do. Like I would stumble across a really cool thing, like a labyrinth in a corner of the world, or a forest that was pitch black, and I had to light things on fire to go see. And it's like, wow, this is really neat. What is this doing here? Nothing. Like it's a world, and I guess it depends what you want out of a game. I want a world. Edie, you haven't even played it. What the fuck do you know?
I haven't played it, but I know better than to open that can of worms. Even if I hated it, I wouldn't say anything about it.
Oh no, I will gladly talk about it. So it's
You
a
can put your
world,
head in that
it is
dragon's
a world
maw
that
all
is
day.
narratively dead. Like it's a world built around gameplay and gameplay only, but it's narratively empty. In that, like I said, you can stumble across all these really cool things, like the forest, a labyrinth, an interesting little puzzle, a gauntlet of things that shoot lasers at you, and you've got to glide through them while dodging the lasers. And at the end of every single one of those cool things is the same type of shrine that gives you the same type of upgrade to do the same thing. And it's just, there's no real world building as to why this labyrinth is there, as to why this forest is there, as to why things are the way they are. It's like, it's just, hey, the developers thought it'd be cool to put this thing here, and so they put this thing here, and that's it. And if you just want that, if you just want to wander around this world and do cool, interesting things, then that's fine. I want the world to feel more alive. I wanted it to feel like there's a reason that this stuff exists, and I found it to be, like I said, just a narratively empty and dead world where nothing exists naturally. Everything in that game exists purely from a design gameplay point of view, but like it's not a living real world. It's just a gameplay playground. And look, I get some people like that. That's what they're looking for. I want a bit more justification for the playground. And so every time I did something cool, it was tempered with, well, that was pointless.
Okay, so I will give you that sometimes the world is just large for the sake of being large.
Also,
But,
climbing fucking sucks.
well, that's because you hadn't like built up your stamina. Did you
I
finish
built
it?
I got almost to the end, and then I tried climbing the final gauntlet there, and I kept dying from the guardians, and I thought, this is fucking stupid. Because again, I hated the combat. I hate the fighting. And one of the things I hate, that this is just a pet peeve, dodging. Link's dodge is like the absolute puniest little sad sack fucking dodge in any game ever. He doesn't dive out of the way. He bunny hops. And you're supposed to dodge an attack by jumping 6 inches to the left? That just fucking sucks. It just sucks so much.
Honestly, I thought the combat was some of the best because you're just given tools to win.
I hate
Like,
it so much.
have you ever went back and like watched a lot of people play this that are really good at it? People who speed run and
Yeah,
just do
yeah.
crazy things.
And I'm like, oh wow, that looks neat. I will never be able to do that, and I don't have enough patience to try.
But I mean, I respect any game that just gives you tools and it's like, hey, break the game if you want. You want to beat this game in 30 minutes? Just go run straight for the boss room and fight him with a stick.
And that
You can do it.
that would be impressive if like the general act of moving was fun. If the general act of fighting was fun. Yeah. I felt like a competent person at any point in that game.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the
sucks.
Wild's great.
So the idea that Ubisoft is creating a Breath of the Wild ripoff makes me happy because I think that they could do a better job.
I'm interested in the fact that it's like Greek mythology more than anything, and the art style looks kind of
that too.
cute. Like,
Mhm.
I'd like to see where that game goes. Plus,
yeah,
anything good?
I was gonna do a couple like leaks that I saw from Ubisoft stuff.
Just playing the game and taking pictures.
Yeah, see, a gameplay playground. Like, if that's what you're looking for, it's good in that. I'm just not looking for that. But speaking of Immortals Phoenix Rising, according to an Xbox listing, that game will come out this year. It's still supposedly on track for this year.
And I mean, is there a phoenix in Greek mythology?
I don't know. But remember, this isn't the Phoenix Bird. This is Fenyx.
I know, but I mean,
It's not the other
rising.
Phoenix.
Like, you don't imply rising like a phoenix, and then like not the same mythology, not the same spelling. Like,
I know.
what?
It's a god awful name. There's a comment on this Kotaku article that someone says, "I want to see the list of names they didn't pick to decide on this one."
Who said that?
It's just a comment on a Kotaku article.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
But then, in addition to that, I just saw a little leak. Is that the Division 2 is getting a new mode, a PvE mode, where you are kind of doing a reverse raid. Oh no, you're kind of doing the raid or dread, where you're basically fighting your way up a 100-story skyscraper, floor by floor.
That's on my list, and that was the one I was going to mention. Yeah, so it's called The
Yeah.
Summit. It's a new DLC. It's all procedurally generated, so each time you go through it, it's new. And they had something like this in Division 1, which was the Underground. You'd basically go into the sewer system of New York, and each time it was different, and kind of work your way through. And from the screenshots I saw, every 10 floors is going to add modifiers. Your goal is just to reach the top. And each time you go through, it's going to have new gear. It's going to have new enemies, and new layouts. I'm kind of excited for it.
It's a cool idea. Any like fight your way up to the top of a tower premise is it's ripe for fun action.
Yeah.
So that's all my Ubisoft stuff I got.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, what have I got? Let me check my notes here. Oh, yes. Sims 4 community is in an uproar. I should have done this banner for early. And they're in an uproar. I don't know if you remember last week. When we talked about the Star Wars pack that they're releasing.
Yeah.
Let me go. All right. So yeah, the EA announced that there would be a Star Wars pack coming out called Star Wars: The Journey to Batuu, which is maybe good or bad. Unfortunately,
Isn't that the Star Wars skins on Sims?
Yes, it's Star Wars skins on Sims. It's a new location that you can visit. You can't actually live there, but most importantly, it is themed for this world, Batuu, which is part of the new Disney theme area.
Yeah, the
Disneyland parks.
Yeah, that Batuu is like that planet.
Right. Disneyland and Disney World. That was announced last week, and the Sims 4 community, which is very much very enthusiastic about the game, despite the fact that I did not know this. Did you know that? Guess how much it costs if you purchased Sims 4 and you wanted the full gaming experience, meaning all the DLC, all the packs. How much do you think it would cost you?
I'm
$680.
More than that now, 700.
I forgot to add the Star Wars pack. My bad.
I think it comes out in 751 if you add all the stuff packed now.
And that's if you buy the game full price, but they keep giving away Sims, the base game, for free.
Right. But even so, the base game is what? $60. So that's
Yeah.
only knocks it down to $700 as opposed to $760.
I know this answer right away, not because I looked it up, but because I was sitting there like, I want to get into Sims. Let's see how much all of this would cost. And I did that very recently, and I was like, no, this is horrifying.
Yeah, it's horrifying. But there are
a
a lot of
that
people
a lot
who
of that
have
stuff
spent
you
that.
don't need though. Like if you want to play Sims, just get Sims 4.
You need all of it.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. There's are a lot of people that have played any amount up to that, and
And if you spread that over the lifespan of the game, then that's not as big of an ask.
Fair, but I would like to see like
$700 over
complete
what,
edition.
10 years?
right.
But I
Well,
mean,
keep this in mind that, and kind of going back to the news item about the Star Wars thing, is that this is a community that has spent a lot of money. It is a community that is very, very active. And EA launched a poll not too long ago about what they wanted, what did the community want from the upcoming Star Wars. I mean, upcoming Sims games, like new packs. And I'm going to pull this up here so that you can see it.
this is just so bad. Like I feel like someone
didn't know
asked this hoping that like Star Wars would win or at least get up there, and they were wrong.
So yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of complaints about Sims 4 simply because A, it's buggy, B, they stripped out a lot of the features that were already embedded in Sims 3 to ostensibly sell them back to you, things like cars and babies. And they have yet to put these things in 6 years after the release of the game. So EA, not too long ago, asked Sims players what did they want from the game in the future. If you look at it, hotels 16,000, school life 15,000 people wanted that. So worlds 13.2, farming 12,000, cars, which was embedded, which was already inherent in Star Wars 3 that they stripped out for Star Wars Sims 3. They stripped it out in Sims 4, and they have yet to release it. That's what they want. Hobbies, murder mystery, weddings, horses, medieval, also something they had in Sims 3 that I have yet to do. And all the way at the very bottom,
Veganism? Under veganism?
Star Wars. It was literally the last thing that Sims players wanted. And they released that pack.
People want climate change more than Star Wars.
People want veganism more than they want Star Wars.
Climate change in Sims. How would you do that? But apparently they want it. People.
So yeah, not only that, they like twice as many people wanted climate change than they wanted Star Wars, and yet they released a Star Wars pack.
Yeah.
And it has predictably not gone well for them, to say the least. The amount of hate that they have received and is getting louder and louder and louder on the Twitter and on Reddit is just insane.
That's surprising. I would not have predicted
it's so bad. It's going to be full of rabbit holes, and there's still no darker skin tones like to get it together. Yeah, that's another thing that they're saying is that it's full of bugs. There's tons of clipping, and skin tones are wrong, especially during this time of Black Lives Matter. Like the skin tones are fucked up for people with darker skin, and yet they're releasing a Star Wars pack with somebody who is darker skinned, but the skin tones are all wrong. Just insane.
I remember when they first announced that, and we were talking about that announcement on the show. We were like, not for us, but I'm sure that someone's excited about that. Turns out that was a bad assumption to make.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I guess
2,500 people.
This is what's
Yeah,
at the tweet.
2,500 people are happy.
They posted on the tweet, set a course for the Galaxy Edge for the Resistance. Fall in with the scoundrels or enlist with the First Order for their announcement. Not their announcement, but like a post on Sims on Twitter. This is what the response is. Hundreds of people saying no. That's like this is the thing now. No. Just
So, like,
no. Just no.
this is so bad on like multiple levels, because not only is it like just deaf to your community when you bothered to put out a poll, which, by the way, getting like 100,000 people to respond to a
Was
poll
that
like
an
that.
EA poll or was that a digital spy poll?
That was an EA poll. EA actually ran that poll.
Okay.
So like they just straight up ignore them, and I have to imagine
they were the one that asked the community, and they were the ones that included Star Wars on it, simply because they knew there was a Star Wars pack coming out that was themed for Disneyland and Disney World.
I wonder what the executive or designers thought when they saw the results, and they're like, "Oh, fuck. We've been working on this. We've been working on this for months, and it's at the bottom. Shit.
Disney's breathing down our neck. Like, we have to release this." But not only was it bad on that end, but I mean, it screams of like EA, just kind of adder, like sponsoring it to make just there's a word for it and I can't think of it, but
money.
Yeah, to make money, but just blatant shilling.
I don't know if they
Blatant,
would do that, because clearly people don't want it. It feels like them using the Star Wars license in a way that no one wanted, but they're like, "Hey, we've got this license. What else can we do with it? I don't know. Put in The Sims? Sure."
I don't think it was that though, because
They're
they
like,
modeled it after the Disney park. Like this feels deliberate.
Oh, this was very
that's because it
deliberate.
feels like EA wanted to do something with the Star Wars license, and they're like, "What can we do with The Sims?" And Disney was probably like, "Well, hey, we've got this park that we just opened up. Make that." And EA was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." Like, it feels like it was a decision made higher up, or Disney's like, "Hey, can you do this?" And EA was like, "Yeah, sure. We're not doing anything else with Star Wars. We got a shooter that we're making. We got a flight game. I don't know. Fuck else we're doing with it."
It feels just super gross. Like, it doesn't feel like they had thought it through necessarily. But not only that, I have a friend who plays it. I have a couple friends who plays it. But they were talking about what the pack brought and what it was like. And for instance, they already have aliens in the game. Like, you can get abducted. You can make an alien family. The alien races that exist on the planet are just normal Sims people with masks on that speak an alien language.
Oh, really?
They're not actually alien models, which makes it sound, which was either a plan for, because again, the Disney crossover, or because they were just being lazy. Like, it was easier to just...
So what it seems like is this isn't actually a Star Wars pack. It's not a pack that supposedly takes place in the Star Wars universe, but it's a vacation spot that is the Star Wars land.
Right.
Like, you're not going to another universe. It's a sim visiting Disneyland, basically.
No, and you are, I believe you are going to another planet. I don't think you're going to the Disneyland park.
Well,
in
no,
the game.
not the park. You're going to
But it is,
another
it's just
planet.
you're visiting. You only visit and you get to go at kind of like as a day trip. You cannot move
but if the Sims are just people in masks and not actually alien models, then that seems like the premise of it is more that you're going to the park itself more than you're going to this other fictional planet.
Yeah, and it feels scummy because of it.
And take a look at the Sims Star Wars, the off of YouTube, the debut of the trailer on YouTube, where it's 96. I mean, that was on September 1st, 96,000, 1 million views in 4 days, 96,000 down votes, 39,000 up votes.
Yeah, it feels more scummy and more like an ad If it's just
Like
hey,
if they had put work in, oh, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a scummy, like, dirty promotion.
Right.
It's not actual content. They're just promoting stuff.
yeah,
And that's kind of gross in my opinion. I mean, I'm using that word, but just it's wrong to me.
Yeah.
But it's their IPs, so
One person wrote here, Jen Toas says, okay, yes, period, but give better skin tones, hair colors, eye colors. And don't forget that if we were able to paint on dogs, we should be able to change hair, skin, and eye colors freely.
they also have this model of a speeder that you can buy and put in your yard that does nothing. Like, you can't even interact with it, and they still haven't, like, put in cars like into the game. So you can just buy the speeder for some money in game, and it just does nothing, which is a little sad because no one wanted this to begin
Right.
with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the nobody fucking wanted this.
And again, like Nick was saying, there's some developer that's just sitting there like, this is there's no.
When they push the publish button, they're like, oh, this is not going to be good. I am not right, but it would they
yeah,
they
you
made
know,
some
they
poor
saw
schmuck
that
do that at
poll.
EA.
They saw that poll, and someone was just like, "Oh, fuck!
This is not what we wanted to see.
Why?" Someone was like, "I fucking told you, Jim. I told you no one wanted this."
Hopefully, moving forward, they won't try to promote anything else in the game like this.
Oh, I think that there is a ton of people that are officially going to walk away from Sims or walk back to Sims 3 because Sims 3, even 6 years into Sims 4, is a more complete game.
Or they're not going to leave the game. They just won't buy the expansion. Like, that's the thing. It's
a
just
combination.
unfortunate that people put all this work into this expansion and no one actually wants it. It's just a.
I think it's much more than that. I think you're underestimating the hate. I mean, it's not just like we hate this pack. It has turned into we hate EA, that they finally ask us what we want. We tell them, and then they give us the last thing that we want. I think it's time. The hate has gone from I hate this pack to I hate EA, and I'm no longer going to do this anymore.
I don't believe any sort of I'm mad at this publisher, so I'm not going to play this game anymore.
Yeah, I think
never.
like there's so much
There's a good one.
investment. Nah,
Oh, no.
I don't think people will leave just because you have so much investment in these Sims, these families, these characters that they won't backtrack. But I think they're going to be more vocal. Like, as a community, I would be way more vocal than you would have happened. Like, you lost a lot of consumer trust with this move.
Yeah. It's just such almost universal. I mean, there are some people that are actually looking forward to it. They say, hey, I really actually like this plaque. You don't have to buy it. And it's the rest of it. Like you, Nick, you said, well, if you don't want this pack, don't buy it. And it's the rest of the community going, look, we pay a lot of money to EA to play this game, a lot of money. And to have them disrespect the community in such a blatant way goes beyond the I just won't buy the pack stage. It is the you don't care about us. You have
Sure.
Yay, that's the thing, is the Sims community is all about, hey, we want you to have your other life, your digital life within this game. And it's always been about inclusion, and that is not happening. And really not happening right now. This, I think, was the last straw for a lot of people. I've never seen anything get the hate like I am seeing universally across all platforms, be it YouTube, be it Twitter, be it Twitch, be it Facebook, everything, Reddit. It's just nothing but
I can think of other things.
EA has finally crossed. No, not like this. EA,
I think I can name one.
Crossed a line with the Sims community, and it is a shame because this is their fucking cash cow. Sims makes them so much more money than just about anything else and has the longevity of all of the people that have been playing it for decades.
Okay, so it may be one of their biggest earners, but it is dwarfed by FIFA. Nothing in their roster will come close to FIFA. FIFA makes them like $1 billion alone.
Mhm.
It's absurd. But there was one thing that isn't about Sims community, but that in the gaming industry was hated more than this, and that was Star Wars Battlefront 2. And who made that one?
Oh, I was gonna say something that got more hate just this year. Last of Us 2.
I think that it's because
Levels
you're looking in
of hate.
different.
Levels of hate in the gaming industry are like there's a new one every 3 months.
It's
Just
not
wait 3 months when the new consoles come out, and there's gonna be another fucking uproar about something.
right, but you can't look at all hate the same. This is not hard. This is not the hate over Last of Us 2 was not hardcore gamers that have been playing Last of Us 2 for some of them 20 years hating on it and like just going
Again, if you've
like
been playing a game
nuclear.
for 20 years, you're not going to stop playing just because the developer is
That's what I'm
doing
saying,
something you
Nick.
don't like.
That's what I'm saying, and you're not
They're
listening
not.
to me.
They're not.
They are.
No, they're
They
not.
are. They have crossed a line,
they haven't.
unlike I have seen ever in the Sims community. Whether you know, I mean, I'm serious. You're also not looking in places for this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You are looking, you are looking
just
at Main
mean-
Street.
I
None
just
of
mean
this
general
really
human
getting covered
behavior.
in places like Kotaku. This is getting really is a huge kind of, yes, it is a niche hate, but it is a hate like I have never seen in the Sims community before.
Yeah, and I believe that. I just think general human and gamer behavior is to get upset about something, but to not punish the developer financially for that. Like
They're gonna punish
you
the
can
developer
hate it, but
financially for this one.
they won't buy the Star Wars things. But if they put out another pack that people actually want, then they will buy that. Like it's not going to have any. Look,
this has
Battlefront
crossed the line
2
with them.
still sold millions of copies.
Yes, but
Gamers that are mad
you are
gamers do
comparing
not
apples
punish.
and oranges when you compare
No.
Battlefront 2 and you compare the Sims.
No, I'm not.
Totally
It's still people.
different ecosystems.
It's still people enjoying a game. If you
Okay,
enjoy
so-
playing The Sims 4, you're not going to stop playing it because the developer sucks. You're going to keep playing the parts of the game that you like.
I do have to agree that I think with Sims 4, you're looking at a group of people who are significantly more invested than something like Battlefront, and even The Last of Us.
All the more reason that they won't stop playing.
That I kind of agree
No,
with. They might lose some people, but I don't think you'll lose everyone.
I don't think they're going to lose. No, they would never lose everyone because I mean, there are a small minority of people that are looking forward to it. I mean, there's not like every single person that comments on it thinks it's a terrible idea, but the vast majority of the hardcore people, the ones that are in the $3 to $4 to $5 to $700 range for Sims 4, just Sims 4, they're the ones that are saying, nah.
I just don't understand why you equate anger at this announcement and anger at this developer not giving you what you want with, well, I'm going to stop playing the game now.
It's, it probably would not have been bad. Well, first off, there was only a limited amount of packs that they put out each year. So this is one of the packs that they get for 2020.
Yes. And it also means that there's more packs coming in the future.
But also, it probably wouldn't have been so bad if it weren't for the poll. If they hadn't asked the community.
Yeah.
The fact that they asked the community, knowing what they had on tap, and they got this result.
See,
they probably were already well into development when they asked the question.
Course they were.
The problem is that they were boxed themselves into a corner of what were they going to do when they found out the community didn't want it in the first place. And it is the fact that they did not couch it or at least try to address it in the community, saying, yes, we know you really didn't want this, but we're going to make it up to you somehow, at least acknowledging that this was problematic.
See, I don't think like this will have a big impact on the player base. I mean, going forward, like I think they should do something, but I think Sims is one of those games that if you're heavily invested into it, that's one of the primary games you play. Like that's not something you can just like, all right, I'm done with. That might be hey, I'm done buying your content for now, or I'm not gonna like buy new stuff from now on. But I think,
but you still
modding,
enjoy playing the game, and you're going to keep playing the game. But whenever they announce something new, you're going to be like, "Oh yeah, well fuck you, EA."
Right? Or either that, or they're just going to go back to Sims 3.
Yeah, no, they won't. I don't think so. It's
a
too old.
lot of
It's
people
too old.
No, a lot of people are going back to Sims 3. A lot of people are. So it's just a disconnect between the community, the hardcore, well, the I would say the greater community, not even just the hardcores, but the greater community and EA itself, and it is exploding in a really, really hilarious way, and it's only hilarious because I am not a Sims player, and that makes me glad I'm not.
What I want to see, and if Sims people really wanted to get EA in trouble, is all they'd have to do is go to Disney. I think if the Sims players made a push towards Disney, like, hey, this is tarnishing Star Wars again, EA is screwing you over again.
Disney did enough damage there. This is just a drop in the ocean.
Oh, but the thing is that one more
Someone
murder
Kathleen
of
Kennedy
something
is like,
this.
what's the Sims?
I think that if the Sims community turned this backlash on Disney, yes, it absolutely would affect them because they're already twitchy. They've already had a very bad experience, and this would just be another bad experience for them. Just saying. Sims community.
EA needs to let go of Star Wars. They won't.
Yeah, see, exactly. Disney don't care.
Disney tarnished Star Wars with movies. They don't care.
When Disney's like, maybe we should retcon it and just get rid of those 3 movies and start over, they're kind of like, oh, we fucked up. We fucked up bad.
All right, so moving off of that, next item.
Okay, so just moving into more EA hate because this is a perfect segue.
Okay.
UFC 4. Just a sports game that EA puts out. Apparently, a while back, a month after launch, they started putting in full-blown ads into the game. And, they would do it in the middle of, a replay. So, say you knocked somebody out or you had a good first round, they would have an ad pop up after the replay that you'd have to watch.
So, I saw a video of this, and when I read it, it was like, oh, that sounds bad. But then when I saw it, I thought, well, that's
it just said the boys and it went away.
Yeah, it's an ad. Okay, as if you were watching a UFC match. You do a round, it ends, and the announcer's like, oh, let's look at that kick again. The boys. Oh, here's a kick. Bam, bam. Oh yeah, that was a good knockout. And let's go back to the game. And it's the type of quick half-second ad that you get in any sort of sports broadcast where they flash this ad on screen and then they go into the replay. And so I get being angry at that if there was no ad there to begin with, if this was just a new thing that came in. But I don't get the level of vitriol because it doesn't really seem like it actually interrupts gameplay or interrupts anything to a degree that is detrimental.
Yeah, because I agree. When I was reading it, and even in the title, the one that AC Wraith just linked, it says full-on commercials. And what the video showed was not a full-on commercial. No. It was just a title card. Now, I think this is shitty for different reasons. People spent $60. If this was a free-to-play game, sure. But this is a $60 title that people bought. And if you're putting ads in that game, you're getting more money off of that than maybe even buying the game itself. People buying the game. And that feels wrong to me.
I'm the complete opposite. In this instance, like changing the title card ad that appears on screen during replays to fit whatever new show is coming out. That doesn't seem scummy. Like that just seems like, oh, okay, it's a different ad. Like I remember way back when online was a new thing for games, and EA was like, we're gonna change the billboards and Burnout Paradise, to match what's upcoming and new. And I hear that and think, well, okay, that I don't care about that, but also it's a billboard, it's there, it's an ad now, it'll be a different ad tomorrow. What do you fucking do? Like, what does that actually matter? That doesn't seem bad to me. Like, if you're just updating ads, if you're adding additional ads on top of existing ads so that the ad break gets longer and longer, then yeah, that's bad. But if you're just replacing one with another for a new thing, then you're not actually changing the experience in any way.
Well, it was added a month after launch, so like they
Wait,
had
because
reviews
that's
for the
when
game.
the boys coming out.
No,
They're not going to
not-
advertise the boys a month previously.
It wasn't just the boys. It was like they started adding ads into the game a month after launch.
Yeah, and I get the frustration there. Like that is understandable. But like I get that anger, but not the level of it, because the ad is such a nondescript small thing. It's
Yeah,
so
I mean, if it was
unobtrusive.
like,
I find it so unobtrusive that it's something that I would go, oh, hey, they added that? Huh. And then sort of just move on with my life.
yeah, and I mean, maybe it's just for that player base, like it's distracting. Like you're into the game, you're watching, and then like, oh, ad, it takes you out of it. I'm not sure.
Well, there's
And
the
yeah,
question of that was
yeah,
always
it's
an
different
issue
strokes
of
for different
when they
folks at a
started
certain
talking
point.
about ads in games. That was always an issue of if you're paying money for something and then they put the same thing with movies. You buy an ad, buy a ticket for a movie, you're seeing the movie, and then there is an ad inside the movie. It becomes a question of, is that appropriate? We have accepted that in movies. And honestly, the ads inside the games, I'm not going to lie. I don't like it either. I think it's really scummy, but they do it in movies and it happens everywhere.
But it
What if,
depends. Like I remember people made a really big fuss about Duracell batteries being in Alan Wake.
Right.
Where, you need to collect batteries for your flashlight, and every time you did, it was a Duracell battery. And people were like, this is scummy. Like, this is so distracting. And it's like, why? It's a battery. It makes sense. If Duracell wants to pay them extra money to put them in there, then okay. Like, you're getting a battery either way. Why does it break the illusion of the fiction of this game to have a real world battery company be the battery you collect? It's Duracell instead of Buracell.
Yeah, no, I mean, product placement, like, fine. But like Kaz just said in the chat, like, with movies, imagine watching a movie and you just got through this intense scene, or like they're building up to a scene, it fades to black to switch, and then suddenly you see an ad for a different movie. Like,
I think that's a poor comparison. The better comparison would be if you were watching a UFC game. And if you were watching an actual UFC broadcast and they go into a replay, what do they use for a transition? Like, that is the more apt comparison, because that's literally a one-to-one comparison. And I don't know exactly what they do, but I feel like I've seen enough football games that flash little, this broadcast is brought to you by Pepsi. And now back to the game. That, again, this feels unobtrusive in a way that I personally don't understand the anger. But then I'm someone who hates Breath of the Wild. So I'm an outlier in all things.
I think for me, it's the fact that you're spending money on the game. Like, this goes back to just kind of like consumer rights in general. Like, when you buy a game, should a game be forced to be always online? Should you be forced that if a game company stops developing a game, suddenly that game gets turned off and you lose all of your expansions, your progress you've made, because the game no longer functions? Like, I'm on the fence that you can do some creative stuff with that, but you should be able to play the game offline if necessary. Like if you buy something, you should own something. And having a company put ads into a thing that you own is kind of dirty.
There
Like,
is
you
that
don't-
that aspect of it that
Yeah.
you know
don't own a
you don't
UFC
own
game.
the movie. You don't own the movie, but you do own a copy of that game. Well, I
No,
don't know.
actually, no, you don't.
No,
No,
you
you
don't
don't.
own you don't own the game either. It's that's
Technically, you only own the license to play it. Like,
right.
literally everything you buy in the 21st century is like just a license to do it.
Yeah,
Unless you go and actually buy a fucking book from a bookstore, that's the only thing in this world that you actually own anymore.
and
That's what it
see,
feels like.
I feel like this is bad precedence. Like, you don't want to allow this. You have to have a zero tolerance policy, or in the middle of a PUBG game, or between loading screens, you're going to start getting ads. Loading screens will become ads,
I guess
and
the
there will
thing
be no
is,
stopping it.
I guess the thing is,
There is
this,
that
this
problem.
doesn't feel unobtrusive to me because I feel like we passed that point 5 years ago.
We should draw a line somewhere eventually, though. And I mean, this is a weird place to draw it, I'll give you, but I'm always going to be against that because that line should exist.
Okay, well then, this actually makes a really good segue into something that I want to talk about. It's not necessarily a news story, but it's similar idea because this is something that I'm upset about that I don't know what other people will think. So last week, I was talking about the Avengers game, and I was praising its DLC strategy because they were going to have the characters for free, and then you could have a paid battle pass for that character. But you could actually download that character and their content for free, and it just seemed like a really consumer-friendly way to pass out new content. One step forward, two steps back, because now that the game has come out, people have found that it's rife with microtransactions, or more being macro transactions, because a lot of these skins that you can collect for characters are epic skins are $10, legendary skins are $14.
Holy
And
shit.
I find that that is a lot of money, especially playing the beta. When playing the beta and going through the challenge card, the battle pass for the character, you can unlock the skins. And they gave you enough free currency that you could unlock all that for a couple characters. And one of the things I was disappointed by is that a lot of the skins you unlock felt very minor. You know, like, oh, Kamala Khan has a t-shirt with Iron Man on it, and the next costume is a t-shirt with Black Widow on it.
Yeah.
Okay, whoop-de-doo. And it wasn't until you got into like the epics and then the legendary costume at the end that the costumes actually started getting flashy and interesting and fun. So now, knowing that, oh, those one or two cool costumes that I unlocked in the beta, well, there's like 5 or 6 other costumes, but they're $15 each. That to me feels like a real significant overreach where, you know, the skin is in theory 1/4 the value of the entire game. And I didn't realize this other thing, but I guess the skins in Apex Legends are $20 each.
Yeah,
And
skins,
I didn't realize that skins had become such an overpriced market in gaming. And that to me is the boys advertisement in UFC. Well, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. We need to cut this shit off at the knees. $15 for a skin is like highway robbery. Like $10 at max for your highest, most expensive thing. But it just feels really, really scummy to have such overpriced microtransactions in a game that's already full price. Even if this was free to play, the fact that you have skins that are that much money feels so exorbitant.
in League of Legends, some of the really advanced skins that have a lot of detail are like $30.
That's fucking crazy.
It is, and part of that is like the market has just decided that this is okay.
And,
Like,
that's the frustrating thing is like I remember I had a friend who was complaining about Gears of War skins being $8, and way back when I think Titanfall skins were $4, and people were complaining
Horse
about
armor
that.
was $2.50.
But I get
Like-
enough people bought those things that company was like, well, let's just keep upping the price to see what people are willing to pay. And I guess the market supports it, but it boggles my mind that it does.
And not only that, but like with skins, it's a designer. You could have one person designing it, and if they know how to program, they can make the skins themselves in the game. They can draw it, do it, and like you're done within a day. Now, skins like in League of Legends where you're making it up completely, yeah, that can take a while. But once you've made that skin, you've put it in, you don't have to usually animate for that skin. It's just you texture the character
Yeah,
over
it's no new animations. And what's frustrating about Avengers too, and I have a friend who bought it who can confirm this, is some of those $14 legendary skins are color palette swaps of each other. So so
Yeah.
you've got a legendary
Oh God!
Hulk.
So it's just paint. It's not
You've got
even a skin.
you've got a legendary Hulk costume that's like, new model, new geometry. Clearly, a lot of work went into it. But then you've got another legendary $14 costume that's just that same costume in a different color. And it's like,
And see,
oh,
you're supposed to only like buy one of those, but I don't see why you couldn't get the other colors for the price of the one skin. Like,
yeah.
because I mean, even if you did want that color, like you're like, oh, this one's cool, but later on you're like, man, I've played this for several hours. I still like the way this looks, but I want to play. Like, I want to mix it up with a different color. You're stuck paying that $15.
Yeah, maybe like, hey, it's $14 for a skin, but you get 5 different color palettes of that skin. Like there might be something there, but it's not. It just feels like I said, this is the boys in UFC where I'm like, this is
Has
fucking
anybody
bullshit.
priced out how much it would cost to get all skins for
It's
all
like
characters?
$200 or something.
I mean, this has been a problem with like For Honor, just games in general, like because the development costs for skins are really cheap, like comparatively. Because once you've made it, like I was saying, you can put it out there and it just makes money. You no longer have to. It's not going to bug.
Yeah.
You have no fixes for it, and it just stays there indefinitely. And even if someone buys the game again, like buys the game new, that skin isn't going to go on scale. So if they buy the game for $5, they can buy that skin for 15, like 4 years later.
Right.
I think the other really frustrating thing about this game. So, the legendary costumes are $14. That's 14,000 credits because in the game, a credit is basically a cent. So you got $14. If you play through a character's battle pass, their free battle pass, you can actually earn credits to go and buy stuff in the store. If you complete a whole character's battle pass, you will get 13,000 credits. So you'll get $13. $1 short of a legendary skin. If you buy the packs in the store, though, you can only buy in sets of $5. So you'll get a $15 pack and have $1 left over.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, they so
dicks!
new. It's the
Dicks!
little things where it's like every step of the way, it's just needle you. It's like dying from a fucking push pin being stabbed over and over again.
Oh my
Not
God!
only,
that's
I
so
want to add another
mean.
level to the scumminess of this. Like I was saying, with the designer making a brand new skin, there's a lot of work that goes into that, a lot of thought. They literally have thousands of like previous art to go off of. They have all the old costumes from like any of the comic books.
Mhm.
So 90% of their work is done. You don't even need an artist for that. You just need somebody who can make the texture from the comic books. And then they sell it at $14 a piece. That is so terrible.
It just it feels
And
really weird.
no, it's not going to be
consider that-
$14 a piece. It's going to be $50. No, how much is the minimum amount that you have to buy? You can buy of these
$5
yeah, so it's
15.
It's $15.
or $5 if you get the whole pass.
Right.
Yeah.
And you still need to
It's-
get that extra $1.
It's one of those things where I wonder how the market supports it, because when you look at, I'm going to buy this game for $60, but then it has this thing inside it that's 14 that seems like such a smaller thing. Like how
When you nailed it on the head with Sims, people are going to get mad, they're going to get upset, and then they'll get over it, and then they'll buy it because it's cool and they like the game.
It's an
like
abusive
I'm
relationship.
okay if
It's
you wanna
like,
buy the
yeah,
game.
I hit her, and then I'm going to apologize, and she's going to forgive me. It
Like,
is
if
an
you just wanna-
abusive relationship.
If you just want to buy Avengers, that's cool. I've heard enough good things
EA
about
is a
toy.
bad boyfriend. EA is a
Square
wife beater. Sorry,
but I've heard enough.
Square Enix, all of them. They're all just.
I've heard enough good things about the campaign that I'm thinking, oh, if that game goes on sale, I would buy it. I'll go out and pay $30 and buy that game, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go buy all the skins within it because that value just doesn't seem like it's there.
Yeah.
No, and that's the argument for it. Just buy what you want. You don't have to get all those skins. Yeah, fuck off.
And that's the big difference between this and the Sims 4 argument, is that the Sims 4 argument actually affects gameplay, whereas the skins are they're just cosmetics. You don't have to have them, and your gameplay won't be any different than anybody else's. However, with the Sims, it absolutely changes your gameplay. It changes everything.
So yeah, lots of weird money stuff. Actually, unless you have something else, I have another not so bad, but another weird money issue in games.
Okay.
Seems like a good transition.
Sure.
So Nintendo had their Direct recently, and they announced some pretty cool things. There's like a Mario Kart, a physical Mario Kart toy that basically would turn your house into a racetrack.
That's
which is
cool.
like, yeah, like you get that for a kid, and it's that seems like a great thing. But one of the things they announced is this long rumored Super Mario 3D bundle, where it has Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy bundled together and sold on the Switch. And so that's cool, especially because Galaxy was previously only available on the Wii, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And this is to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Mario. But weirdly enough, that game, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, that bundle game, is going to go on sale from September 18th to March 31st. Which means after March, they will not sell that game anymore. They will stop producing it. They will take it off the eShop, theoretically. It's basically a bundle available for a limited time.
I mean, Nintendo does weird things like that. I mean, it's interesting because you kind of force people to buy it if they want it. And if they don't want it, it's like, oh, no, it's...
What if someone just hears about it in April and is like, oh, that's cool. What, can I get it? Oh, I can't.
Right.
Boom. It's just a weird, like I said, why?
Yeah.
Weird money things.
Artificial scarcity. Like, they can get away with it, essentially.
And Nintendo are the kings of the artificial scarcity. They learned that during the Wii years and never forgot that lesson.
So I saw that and thought, well, I kind of want to play those games, so maybe I'll have to buy it ASAP.
That's exactly why they did it.
And yep.
Like, this... You have taken the bait, Nick.
I know. Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
My next item is, let's see. Where is it? Oh, Epic versus Fortnite. We are now in the next stage of it. It is now at Epic versus Apple. Instead of Apple versus Epic. I should have written this out. Epic v Apple this week in Epic v Apple.
Before we get into this,
sure.
Mind if, just because this is probably going to take up a lot of time because I have like a chunk about this.
Yeah.
Just one more quick thing that I wanted to throw out there, especially because we were talking about Avengers. There was an article on CNET.com about an Avenger games that was canceled back in 2011, or like right before. That was being made by THQ before they went under. for the launch of the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the first one.
Okay,
And
the movie.
yeah, the first movie.
Okay.
And it was a game they were they were given to the studio, and they're like, you make a game before the movie launches.
Oh,
And
jeez.
THQ was known in the industry at the time for making high quality licensed products really quickly.
Right.
And so they were given this, and apparently like the pressure was so bad at one point, an employee grabbed a knife from the kitchen and started stabbing his desk. One person took an umbrella and started beating a file cabinet with it because it was so bad. And the story of that game that never got released, which ended up looking like it was first person, it was 4-player co-op, and it ended up kind of having qualities of Left 4 Dead, is what they aimed for, where it's kind of you fought a horde of people as you move through a level. The story itself is just interesting about this game that never was. And if you're looking for something fun to read, yeah, again, that's at cnet.com. They have a whole article for that. And they also have an article called The Death March, which was based on another THQ game made for Homefront. Apparently, the crunch for that game was so torturous that like it's renowned, and they like scuttled the studio afterwards. But yeah.
Wow. When your crunch is so bad, it takes down your whole studios after the release of the game. That says something. Mm-hmm. Especially in this industry that has no problem chewing people up and spitting them out.
The Avengers game, though, it was right after Left 4 Dead had come out in 2008. It was during the time of Arkham Asylum, and they were kind of developing it to be third person. And they were like, we're not sure. They brought in a new person because the lead developer was having problems with the company, and they just like removed him, and they brought in a new developer, and he's like, this looks too familiar. Fuck it, let's make it first person. And everyone was just like, fucking what? Like, hey, again, they had to match a timetable for a movie coming out. This was not something you could delay. Right. And the whole company was like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing with this. Right. And they did eventually get it like going, and they started having a nice rhythm. But they brought in a closer, this guy named, I think, Dan something, or Robert something, from America. And the team working on this was an Australia-based studio. And they're used to a 38-hour work week, where this guy who's the closer is used to pushing the crunch. And the way that
that must have gone over very well.
The one guy who snapped was because the pipeline had gotten to such a way of like things getting pushed down the line that one person was handling the majority of the game's production, like at a certain point, and that's the person who snapped. But yeah, that's why this shit's a good read. And like, there's also like implications of the fact that Australians' dollar was increasing. Suddenly, everything was getting more expensive for game studios, and just yeah, good article. But I wanted to throw that out before we started the Apple versus Epic stuff, because that's going to be the rest of my news. So
that's cool. Okay, then before we start, I just have one good thing to add. I need to bring the room up a little bit before we crater it again.
It's
Jesus. It's
I feel like this next thing is going to be crater. It's not.
What a downer of a show it's been.
I know. Yeah.
But CD Projekt Red has announced that they're going to have a next-gen version of Witcher 3. There's going to be a standalone PS5 and Series X version of Witcher 3, but if you own it on consoles or PC, there will be a free upgrade to that next-gen version as well. And they say the update will work with any physically or digitally purchased copy of Witcher 3, including the launch version or the Game of the Year complete version. So any version that you have currently, you can then update for free to the next gen.
And that's what I want to hear from everybody. That would make me buy a game now as opposed to waiting for whenever the next console comes out.
That's just CD Projekt Red being fucking classy. Like, that's them doing it right.
Yep.
Which also, like, to be fair, Witcher 3 sold such a boatload of money. Like, they have enough money to be, we can be classy. We can be classy as I eat my caviar.
Also, we know Cyberpunk is going to just
Yeah.
kill.
that's true.
You know, is it just me? Are we starting to get a little over cyberpunked, so to speak?
I don't think so. But I haven't been following
pretty
it that close.
saturated with that. You know, and like it's just been nothing but cyberpunk. So every freaking everything is covered in cyberpunk.
I think like it was supposed to release in September before they got pushed back into November. And I think you're right in that if it launched this month, that'd be awesome. But I am kind of at the point where I'm just like, I'm just going to wait till the game releases. I don't need to know. At this point, I'm just spoiling stuff for me.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't need to see any new content about it. It's just give me the game.
Yeah.
But
money. Take my money.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's not like a game where you're like, okay, I'm tired of seeing this stuff. I'm now over it. It's just like,
Yeah.
here's my money. Just give me the fucking game.
I hope it's as good as we hope it is, because if it's not, it's going to be very ugly.
No,
I mean,
from what I've seen,
I
like,
think it
there's
will
no
be
way it's
fun.
gonna-
Like, just expect it to be fun. Period. End of story. Like, there.
Okay.
That should be like the barometer for success for any
Is
game.
it fun?
Is it fun?
That should be the name of our video. Well, no, what are you playing this week?
Is
it fun?
Is it fun? Just stop reviewing games and start saying, "Is it fun?"
I play League of Legends, which is arguably not fun, but I keep playing it.
Well, that's just an abusive relationship.
Right. That's right. That's an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
You need to really check yourself there.
If at any point you ask yourself, "Am I having fun?" and you say no,
Then you're not.
probably
You shouldn't be
probably
playing that game.
stop what you're doing.
Yes. That's
But,
called
like-
work. And if you're not getting
Yeah,
paid to do
yeah.
it, then you shouldn't be doing it.
But I like it.
But is it fun?
I like not having fun.
Yeah, then you need to really re-examine your own personal values and maybe, what's going on in between your ears.
I'm feeling attacked. I think we should move on to Apple vs. Epic.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Watchdog Legion, AC Ray says Watchdog Legion previews have been getting meh reviews, and I'm still more interested in that game. Really?
Well, yeah, the
'Cause
previews. I've seen the
also
previews. It's not
first
reviews. It's just previews.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still interested in that. Which again, that's a game that's like it's supposed to come out this year, but just show me the actual game.
Yeah, if they had that like choose your approach thing and had the hitman that was basically John Wick, if they can somehow make that combat like look that good the entire time you're playing it and not just for that one little showing, I'm already in because it looked awesome.
So let's hit some more
quickly,
stuff and
quickly,
wrap this up
flashback.
soon because it's starting to get oppressively hot
Okay,
in my
just
house.
flashback to the beginning of the show when you were talking about how
much
much you loved killing innocent people. Hitman. That's the game that you might.
I liked Hitman. I like Hitman.
I knew there was a game that was for you.
And I also really liked what was it? The one with John Wick in it.
Fortnite?
No, not that one. Crap. We played it together. Chaos. Was it Hitman? No. Yes, maybe. Was it
Payday?
Was it
Payday?
Payday? Was it Payday
Yeah.
that we played a lot of?
That's the only one that has John Wick.
Yeah.
in it, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you ever that game is way different on PC. If you ever get a good PC that can play games, we need to play Payday 2 on PC. It is amazing.
All right. So let's hit some more. I don't even want to know what's going on in there.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans for more of this.
More of Nick's cat getting into shit and Nick's haircut.
Cat is scratching all the couch.
Of course, it's Kenneth scratching on the couch. That's what counts do. All right. So we do have to wrap this up because it's starting to get oppressively hot in here. Buddy has officially jumped off the couch and is wandering around in circles because it's so hot.
Okay.
I'm officially now
End with this.
completely soaked through my shirt, and I'm starting to get chilled, which means I'm starting to get a little heat stroked inside my house. So, Epic versus Apple. There is a new request by Epic. They have submitted once more for a preliminary injunction against Apple to force them to put Fortnite back on the iTunes store. The full hearing right now is scheduled for September 28th, but Epic is saying that Fortnite needs to go back on the iOS because it's too detrimental to the company to have it off. So just to kind of back it up a little bit, Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers had ruled, I believe it was last week, that Apple they had to put the Unreal Engine developer tools back, reinstate those accounts, but didn't have to reinstate Epic Games and the Fortnite account because Fortnite was the division that fucked up and broke Apple's rules, and Apple's pulled the developer credentials.
On purpose.
On purpose. They did it on purpose.
Which is important.
She said that Epic hadn't proved any harm was being done and that Epic strategically chose to breach its agreements with Apple. And that was the reason why she said you could have to put back Unreal Engine and everything, all the other games, but Fortnite doesn't have to be because it was an intentional act. Epic has now submitted again for a preliminary injunction saying, no, Fortnite does need to go back. They say that, quote, daily active users on iOS have declined over 60% since Fortnite's removal from the App Store. And the date range also includes the start of the Marvel-themed Chapter 2 Season 4 that iOS players were unable to join because it wasn't on the App Store anymore, because they couldn't update their games. So if you can't update your games, you can't get the new season stuff. So Epic says that the iOS is the biggest platform for Fortnite with more than 116 million registered users, which is almost a third of its 350 million registered users. And they say that 63% of Fortnite players on iOS only access Fortnite on Apple devices. So they said in their filing that they're worried that they may never see these users again. These users are now essentially blocked out of Fortnite, that they will go away, they will never come back, and that the Fortnite community has been, in their words, torn apart.
Okay, so...
And they're not going to win this. They are not going to win this. And this is because Epic tried to be fucking cute and dropped that video that made it clear that they knew this is exactly what was going to happen and they were prepared for it. You cannot get a preliminary injunctions are for stop keeping things at the status quo, to keep things from going completely haywire for a company due to unforeseen circumstances. It's actually there's like things you have to, conditions you have to meet for a temporary injunction written into law. One of them being it cannot be a self-inflicted wound. It has to have been unforeseeable. It has to have been a surprise. It has to have been something that was not done of your own accord, eyes wide open, knowing what's going to happen. And there is no way that Epic is going to be able to prove that.
Not only that, but I mean,
that makes me question why they did it. If these numbers are right, that a third of their players, 116 million registered users, or almost a third of their 350 million total users, were on this and using iOS and Apple devices.
It was a strategic risk. Not a risk, but actually a gamble at this point.
It was a big gamble.
I don't think it was a gamble. The CEO has been on the record previously about these closed ecosystems and the fees they take. I think this is I forget his name, but like this is a personal battle that he has been wanting to fight for a while.
Tim Sweeney? Or
Tim
Todd
Sweeney.
Yeah,
Sweeney?
Tim Sweeney.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Microsoft put out their Windows store, he was like, if Windows locks down its environment and prevents you from installing third-party apps on Windows, it's like the end of the fucking world. It's the end of the free, PC world.
He might have a personal stake in this, but like,
yeah,
I mean, they probably still think they can win. And there's more to that explains why they think they can win this, but more about to what they want. And I just want to say, like, I hope Epic wins because it'd be nice to see that stuff being opened up. I mean, I'm not an Apple user, but like, I'm not a huge fan of the exclusivity of it, and not to mention just kind of that taking the cut kind of process.
I think it is a very cynical argument because were the roles reversed, and I say this, this is a company that has a developer engine. They're pretty closed, they're their own little walled garden in a way. It's a little
having a developer engine is not the same as having a platform.
They've actually brought this up. So again, I think so their argument for why they should get back on and the unforeseeable consequences for why Fortnite's getting hit is, I think, kind of cringy at best, kind of overvaluing. I mean, maybe Fortnite is this, but I don't see it that way. But they are trying to build a Fortnite metaverse, which is not just the Fortnite game, but it's events, it's culture, it's all of that.
That's
and the
true.
way they actually describe this, and it's a little bit paraphrased, but the communal experience of Fortnite platform, the free flow of thoughts and ideas within the game and virtual spaces, with its social connection, it substitutes for a lot of people Facebook, Snapchat,
they want
and others.
Burning Man? Is that what they want?
Yes, and I think it's almost an outrageous argument, and their argument for it is if they lose those people because they need it to make that, they're losing an infinite amount of profit. Like, you cannot guess how much they're going to lose because they need those people to get going. And I think that is a bullshit argument that they're doing an infinite future value, and that's their argument that they're losing from that. And the reason they want to do this is because they want the Epic Store in as many places as they can. They don't just want for Apple not to take a cut. The big fish here is to be able to put an Epic Games app on the iPhone. That's not completely under their control.
Can make their own walled garden.
But it's not walled. Their argument against that is they have Magic the Gathering on the Epic's Game Store, and they don't take a cut from it. Like, just the fact that they have Magic the Gathering there for them is good because it draws traffic to other games. And for Magic the Gathering, it opens them up to people who wouldn't otherwise know it exists that are using the Epic Game Store. And they want something close to that. And that's their argument against being a walled garden.
Also, in theory, if they win this argument and Apple can't charge fees to be a walled garden, then it stands to reason that if they put their own app on there and were their own walled garden, someone could sue them using their own precedent against them.
Yeah,
but,
basically.
But like this whole argument, like whether or not it's overvalued or not, like this is just I believe Epic still knew this was coming. Like, this is not them being taken by surprise anywhere. They've got a 20-step list, and they're working through that 20-step list. And so
that has like an A and B and C, like this happens.
Yeah, and so even though they say like this is unforeseen consequences, they're like, no, we totally saw this coming. This is scene 3, act 2 that we're acting out right here.
They've branched this out like a dialogue tree. It's like, what is the judge going to say now? Yes or no? If yes, then the series of events.
But
if
also,
no, then
like
the series of events
for the purposes of this show and for the purposes of the community, like they want to put out this request because they need to be the victims, right? That's the narrative that they're portraying.
That's
so
getting harder and harder to argue. Well, they were foolish the way that they did it. They tried to be clever, and now they're getting caught up that you can't really claim that you're the victim when you literally ran. You didn't just stand in front of the train. You actually ran yourself into the front of the train, fell over, and then claimed you got hit.
Sure, but it's not so much like, oh, we're the victim of this sudden unforeseeable thing. It's we've always been the victim of this thing, and it's time that we finally fought back. That is the narrative that they want, and so they're going to keep playing up these things. Like the injunctions before of like the Unreal Engine is okay to be on there, but Epic Games is not okay. Like that was step 2 in their plan, and obviously this is their response to that. So like they already had things planned out.
And they've already written off like the potential losses from this lawsuit. Like they have like put that money aside and like we could lose this, and that's fine. Like
I'm sure between the Epic Store and Fortnite on other platforms, they're like, yeah, we've still got enough money, we can take this hit.
Yeah, and if they fail, they'll just talk to Apple and they'll get Fortnite reinstated as if nothing happened, maybe with some like loss in negotiating power. But they'll get it back up there.
That's true. They really did have nothing to lose. All they have to do is just turn around and say, okay, take 30%. Fine. We give up.
And even then, if they do that, then they have still created the narrative of Apple being the 1984 villain, which then would allow some other company later on to step in and try to challenge that later on. Because,
like if Google wanted to take that fight,
if
like
Google
that'd be rough for Amazon. That is a titan.
You mean
Apple or Amazon? It wanted to take it
Google
to
when it gets Apple.
Right.
Yeah.
If Google was like, listen, we want to put,
we want to put Stadia on iPhone.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing.
Yeah. It's kind of a...
This is going to be a weekly update. We knew it was when we heard about it.
We'll fall off because it's going to be years. Unless Epic
years of us covering this.
I don't know if it'll be a weekly updates because they said the next hearing is on the 28th, and the whole court system moves glacially slow.
I don't think it's going to be as long as we think it is. I mean, obviously it's going to go on for a while, but I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is another lawsuit against Apple with these essentially same facts going on, challenging Apple's iOS walled garden. And that lawsuit, I forget the name of the lawsuit, it is much farther along in the process. It's already been going on for a couple of years. So they may have a decision about that very shortly. When that decision is made, that will absolutely materially affect what the decision is with here. Well, I should say, depending on what's going to be said, and everybody anticipates that it is the case, that those findings made by, and I believe it is this same judge, are going to reverberate to this lawsuit with Epic versus Apple. I forget what the other one's called, but there is another case that is very, very similar to this one that are going to be making findings that affect this, and it's being done by the same judge, and it is being done. It's those findings are going to be more than a couple of years from now. I mean, it's going to be fairly soon.
And maybe that's why Epic decided
that's why Epic decided to do it now.
Right. They saw blood in the water and they're like, let's fucking
I'm not sure they see blood in the water. They're gambling. That if that finding is
but they saw an opportunity.
Even partially, they may be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if
it's completely against them, then they'll probably drop everything and then just go back to that, which, like you said, just go back to the 30%. Okay, if that other one found 100% for Apple and nothing for the plaintiff, then whatever.
Because I mean, Epic could make an easy case of being like, they could be banned for a year, but if they ever brought it back, I'm not even sure they'd probably fight against that too. But they could be like, okay, you can't punish us for trying to sue you. That wouldn't fly in court. They would just be like,
that is a whole new law. If they say, we will agree to your terms of service and pay you 30%, and they're still not let back on the store, that's another suit right there.
Well, it all depends on the way that the developer agreement has it constructed. It may very well be that there is something, if not already in the developer agreement, that will be in the future agreement, because Epic, they've already had their agreement canceled. In order to get into a new agreement with Apple, they will have to write a new agreement. And I can guarantee you that there is going to be language in there that, if it wasn't there before, it will be now, that says that if you ever sue us for this, first off, arbitration is going to be part of it. And second of all, if you ever sue us like this again, or we don't, it's a, what's it called? At will. It is an at will agreement, meaning that if we can walk away from it for any reason with a certain amount of days notice, and you can walk away from it for any reason within a certain amount of days notice, we are not beholden to you to keep any kind of agreement going. I would be really surprised that there wasn't something already existing in that agreement that allows for an escape clause for any
isn't that the point of the suit, is that those developer agreements were onerous? Like, they could agree and sign that and then go around and sue with the argument that these agreements are onerous and untenable, and we were wronged by having to agree to them.
No, because you could just choose, depending on what this argument is with, the findings is of this earlier suit. If the findings are that it's like this is Apple's completely within its own rights to be able to regulate and monitor what they want to do with their store. It is their store. If they want to make it a walled garden and hold the keys, they can make it a walled garden and hold the keys. You don't have to enter an agreement with them.
And I mean, they'll take Fortnite back, or they'll take Epic back, because Fortnite will just make them
too much money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not too much, but enough that, yeah, we'll keep you on the store. Just don't ever cross us again, or we will destroy you.
Right. Well, there's also the issue of, there's probably they're probably already, I'm almost guarantee you that there's some clause in their contract that says a termination clause, that you can terminate immediately for cause, or 60 days notice without cause. Most contracts have that.
Mm-hmm.
Even your rental agreement has that.
Mm-hmm.
You can terminate with 60 days or 30 days notice. I'm sure it's got something in there, a termination of lease. It's essentially a termination clause for it. So, I mean, we don't know what the contract is. We don't know what the agreement is. We don't know what the language they have in it. So it's hard to say. But whatever happens with this first thing that's going through, this first lawsuit, when the findings from this judge about that case will affect almost 99.9% guarantee that it will affect whatever happens with this case, because it's going to set the precedent.
Yeah, or I mean, they may have started this because they want to get ahead of that. Like, they want to try to.
I don't know why they wouldn't wait for this other lawsuit to be decided.
Well, because if they decided against their favor, they wouldn't have a case. But if they jump in now, they may be able to enforce that case as well. They may be able to work off of each other. Whereas if they just have a verdict, they'll have no case to start with.
The arguments made in their case can then go on to influence the other.
Yeah.
It's not so much that the other one will influence them, it's that they can influence the other.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know enough about contract law to know that if another case would, decisions made in a case not as far, the other direction, that the first case decisions, once that's adjudicated, that those decisions can be used. I don't think you can use that stuff if it hasn't been actually determined in fact. But we'll see.
This shit takes a field of lawyers, and that we are not.
By a long shot. None of this should be taken as anything. If you want to actually watch a really, 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 really good channel on YouTube that is going over every single one of these findings with a fine fucking tooth comb by a contract attorney, Hogue Law, on I think it's called Virtual Reality or Virtual Legality on YouTube. and it's being done by Hoag Law. I forget the name of the guy's last name's Hoag, Hoeg, on YouTube. He is an attorney. He goes through these filings, which are public, line by line, explaining what this is, what this has to do. That's how I know about this other case that's coming, that's ahead of it with this same attorney. He's the one that's like, okay, now it's starting to make sense. He gives you the lawyerly perspective of what this means and what it doesn't mean, and also gives his opinion on whether things are going to win or lose. I mean, he immediately said straight out when Epic filed the injunction on them, all of their accounts being canceled, that he said, yeah, they're probably going to win on everything else except the Fortnite. And sure enough, that was true based on the arguments.
Yeah.
So that's why I sound so much more educated about this stuff than I am, because I actually watch this guy. He makes me seem smart. So check it out. Virtual Legality on YouTube. Can't recommend them enough. There we go. There he is. Hoag Law.
But yeah,
So go take
cool.
some time to watch that when you're done with this, after watching us for 2.5 hours.
So half an hour left, right?
No. I think if I don't get into a shower and start cooling off, I'm probably going to pass out. I've actually having waves of dizziness right now.
Well, I have nothing left.
Good. So let's close this out so I can go get in a shower, because I would imagine it's probably 92 or 93 in my house right now. So yeah, it's bad. Let's where are we going? What am I doing? All right, here we are, and let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 561. We recorded this on Sunday, September 6th, 2020. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Andrew Smith and Nick DiNicola. First off, if you love this show, even if you hate this show too, but if you feel like it, but if you love this show, please do us all a favor. Everybody here on the GameHounds, go to patreon.com and become a patron. All we're asking for is $1 a month. We certainly do much more than $1 worth a month worth of stuff for you. At least, if anything, in the research. Hopefully we give you $1 a month worth of love and laughs. So check it out. You can find it on going to patreon.com/the GameHounds and leave us some love. Please do that. We record this show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker.com. We also do this show live with the video, which is what the Patreon pays for. The video can be found on Facebook under The GameHounds, YouTube under GameHounds Vids, VIDS is in videos, and also on Twitch as The GameHounds. Please check us out in any of those places. If you're watching us there, please like, subscribe, and get notifications. Do what you got to do. You know what it is. It's all downstairs right there. Go do it. If you want to find our website, it is gamehounds.net, and our email is gamehounds@gmail.com. Nick, Andrew, thank you so much for being with us. We will be back next week at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern here on Spreaker, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Guys, have a good week.
You as well.
You too.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Peace. Hail Hydra.
Yeah, you should say Hail Hydra just to complete your Red Skull.
What about my Red Skull?
You got a Hail Hydra.
Oh, I have a Hail Hydra?
You have to Hail Hydra.
You gotta say it.
Oh, there you go. Sorry. Hail Hydra. Whatever. I gotta go get in the shower because it's bad in here right now. It is so bad. I am you can't see it, but my shirt is completely soaked through. My hair is wet to my head right now. That's why my hair is doing this weird thing, it's completely wet. And you can see it's stringy and yeah. So I need to go get in the shower and try and survive this heat. Nick, everybody in the chat room, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Please hydrate. hydrate. I gotta go hydrate myself externally and internally. Nick, everybody, see you later. Bye.
Bye.